When I came to Salem, in a magic circle, I projected my life's goals. The end result of my life's goal was to teach witchcraft as a science to the world. And that was it. Not how, when, where, or what. I had not yet even developed a curriculum for teaching. About 2 weeks later, I was invited by a girlfriend who was a singer. She had her own band, and she was in Rhode Island at some honky-tonk. And she wanted me to come and listen to her sing. And so I left Salem, I went there with them, and I'm sitting at a table, and she's up on the stage singing with her band. And do you ever go any place like that? You go, why am I here? What am I doing here? You know, and I'm sitting there, and there's a guy at the next table, and he's drunk. Okay? And I'm kind of going like this, so, you know, not to have eye contact with him. And she's still up there singing. Eventually he walks over to the table and he looks at me, he says, "You're a witch, aren't you?" And I went, well, at that time I didn't wear this much makeup. I've just gotten older and my eyesight's bad, so I keep putting more makeup on. So it keeps getting bigger and bigger. But at the time I didn't wear that much makeup, and I wore black, but I wore regular clothes. He instinctually knew. Now this man's a little tipsy, and he sat down, and at first I wanted to say, "Go away," but something made me say, or not say that. Something made me let him talk. And all of a sudden he was making sense, and he was a nice guy and all that. My girlfriend comes off the stage with her band, and she's about ready to say, "Excuse me, sir," she was getting a little ruffled. And I said, no, it's okay. We started talking about witchcraft. He said, "I'm the head of continuing education at Wellesley High School. I would like you to give me a 6-week curriculum, please." I'm getting chills every time I tell this story. I said, I kind of doubted it, and yet I went, oh my God, I just did this projection, a curriculum. He said, well, you know what I mean. Of course, I didn't really know what he meant about a curriculum. He says, I just need to know week by week what you'll be teaching. I said, and he gave me his name, his address, his phone number. And I said, thank you, I will. And he went back to his table. I went home back to Salem. I sat down and wrote a curriculum and sent it to him, and sure enough, I get hired to teach a continuing ed at Wellesley High School. And Wellesley is prestigious. I mean, you've got to understand, it's a nice area. And I taught for 6 weeks, my first class. Right after that, I met Alice Keegan, whose father was the president of Salem State College. But I didn't know that. She came because I started teaching in my little store here. I was teaching little classes, Alpha, what you're learning right now. And Alice came to me one day, "My father would like to speak to you." I said, "Your father?" And she was going to Catholic school at the time. And I thought, uh-oh, here it comes. I'm teaching his daughter witchcraft. And I didn't know. She says, "Well, my father's president of Salem State College." I went, "What?" And she said, "My dad wants to talk to you." And I said, "Fine." So I met her mom and dad, and he sat down and we talked, and he asked me what I was teaching, etc. And he said, "I would like you to teach at Salem State College. I want you to present a 10-week curriculum to me." He says, "You can teach it at continuing ed," he said, "with the premise that you're going to be teaching an accredited course the following year." Again, I get chills every time I say it. I said, fine. So I beefed up my curriculum a little bit, and I handed it to him. I taught in continuing ed. I still have my library card that says faculty at a state college, can you imagine? But what happened is that the publicity got tremendous. United Press International, all the photographers, everybody came, because there was a witch teaching in a state college. And of course, then the powers that be got too nervous, and so I didn't get to teach the following year. Thank you very much, but no thank you, you know. And it makes sense, because it was a sort of a religion, and it's a state college. So I can see how, I was teaching science, however. But anyway, that's the projection that I did, was I didn't care how, as long as it was correct, that I could teach the world witchcraft as a science.